This is the Celebrity Afterlife Report podcast.
Hello and welcome, my friends, to another edition of the Celebrity Afterlife Report, the only weekly show on the internet that gives you all the up-to-the-moment gossip about your favorite deceased celebrities. I am your host, the Celebrity Medium. Here we go! Last week, I told you about Dr. Martin Luther King Jr.'s rapid rise to the top as a soul singer in the next world. As I reported, his act has gotten the attention of the ladies of the afterlife, who are flocking to his concerts in droves, some even throwing their bras and panties on the stage as he sings. As you might expect, this has the next world tabloid press in a feeding frenzy. All of the scandal sheets are competing to be the first to get photos and accounts of Doc Martin, the stage name the newly minted heartthrob is using, in a compromising position. According to my sources, the front page of the most recent edition of the Afterlife's equivalent of the National Enquirer featured a picture of King in bed with a scantily clad woman. Only in tiny type at the bottom of the page was it revealed that the photo was a, quote, enactment, unquote, of what it might look like if the doctor was caught with a woman who is not his wife. Up until that fake photo ran, the King camp had been silent on questions of infidelity. Apparently, however, that broke the dam. King held a hastily assembled press conference in which he denied all charges of cheating on his wife and denounced the tabloid press for hinting that he has. With his wife Coretta at his side, King admitted to having succumbed to, quote, sins of the flesh when he was on the earthly plane, but said that he was deeply and totally committed to his wife in the afterlife and would never sleep with another woman again. When asked how he felt about his fans throwing their underwear onto the stage when he performs, I'm told King looked sheepish and turned to his wife before giving an answer about being very happy for the support he gets from all his fans, and he hopes that he can continue to entertain them for a long time. In other words, he punted. Mrs. King was asked if she believes that her husband will remain faithful to her, and she said she loves and trusts her husband, then joked that if he ever broke his promise to her, the last mountain he climbed really would be the last mountain he ever climbs. It'll be interesting to see if this declaration of faithfulness on the part of the preacher-turned-singer will stop the press from running stories about his alleged womanizing. As I've mentioned on previous editions of the report, some people arrive in the next world immediately after they depart the earthly plane, while others take a while to move on to their new reality. Leonard Nimoy, who, as you undoubtedly know, played Mr. Spock in numerous iterations of the Star Trek franchise, was one of the former group. The much-beloved actor who played the equally beloved character went on to star in other TV shows such as Mission Impossible, but he will always be best known as the pointy-eared alien manning the science station on the Enterprise. If the actor, who was also a talented photographer, thought that he had left the character behind him when he transitioned to the afterlife, he was very much mistaken. According to my sources, when Nimoy arrived, he was greeted by a huge crowd of well-wishers on hand to welcome him to his new existence. Led by the ubiquitous James Brown, self-appointed greeter to the stars, the crowd of thousands cheered Leonard's arrival and made the famous Vulcan hand sign in unison. Everyone in the next world looks as they did at their adult best, so Nimoy, I'm told, looked exactly as he did on the original Star Trek series, minus the pointy ears, of course. Within moments, one of his Afterlife fans produced a pair and asked him to put them on. Nimoy accommodated him, and the crowd cheered as the actor began to cry in happiness. I'm told that the assembled throng then picked him up and carried him off to begin his new life in the final frontier. We have been following the story of one of the Afterlife's oddest couples, pop artist Andy Warhol and actress-singer Marilyn Monroe, for some time now. As regular listeners know, the two were an item recently and were even engaged, much to the amazement of many next world denizens. There was trouble in paradise, however, when Warhol insisted that Donna Douglas, Ellie Mae Clampett from the Beverly Hillbillies, drop her plan to play Marilyn in a movie she had written, even though Monroe was okay with the idea. Now comes word that Marilyn and Andy have officially called off their marriage and their relationship. As I reported a few weeks ago, Monroe immediately bounced back with a job as the star of a new reality TV show called A Night with Marilyn. The show has a format similar to the old dating game, with three bachelors hidden behind a partition vying for a date with the sex symbol. On a recent episode, the producers played something of a trick on Marilyn. One of the three hopeful men was her former Earth-plane husband, Joe DiMaggio. As things turned out, Monroe picked him as the winner of a date with her. According to my source, things went from there, and now the two are an item, being seen together at several recent public events. At least for now, the two are tight-lipped about the status of their relationship, but those who have seen them out and about say they certainly look serious about each other. Another next world couple that has been making news in recent days is the unlikely duo of the former J. Edgar Hoover and Clyde Tolson. I say former because, as I've been reporting for the past few months, Hoover is now living full-time as a woman and has been seen wearing a ring she was given by Tolson, who was her chief lieutenant when she was the much-feared director of the FBI. Hoover has changed her name a few times since transitioning to womanhood in the afterlife, but has apparently now settled on Edith. One of my best sources now tells me that the two were married the other day in a quiet ceremony at the beach. According to the source, only a few close friends of the bride and groom were in attendance for the sunset service. Ms. Hoover was wearing what was described to me as a Vera Wang-style bridal gown with a long train. The couple exchanged vows that they had written themselves. Hoover promised to be a loyal and faithful wife to Tolson, and he in turn promised to love and honor her for eternity. After the brief ceremony, the happy couple left in a car, destination unknown, for their honeymoon. We of course wish them much happiness. And that, my friends, brings to a close another edition of the Celebrity Afterlife Report. Please come back next week for another roundup of up-to-the-minute gossip about all your favorite deceased celebrities. And please tell your friends that the report is now available on iTunes. I am the Celebrity Medium. Thanks for listening.
You've been listening to the Celebrity Afterlife Report podcast. To ask a question about your favorite deceased celebrity, call 818-3-MY-DREAM. 818-3-MY-DREAM. 818-369-3732.